Welcome back to Savage-Showdowns. A large polar bear is, without doubt, the largest land-living carnivore. No other land carnivores grow bigger than this. Is size important? Yes. Is it everything? No. There are plenty of examples in nature of smaller animals killing larger animals. What makes polar bears so large? It is fact that polar bears have an incredibly fatty diet, a diet with proportions so rich in fat that it would kill a human being. Polar bears, in fact, are known to eat just the blubber of their prey. This makes polar bears very fatty creatures themselves. In essence, an animal occupying this niche cannot survive these conditions without having a very large body fat percentage. Does this make them too fat to fight? No. Although they have a very high percent body fat, especially when compared to humans, they are not unhealthy. It is hard to emphasize just how specialized polar bears are to their environment. They occupy such an environmentally harsh niche that they simply have to consume huge amounts of fat to survive. This is for thermal insulation, but primarily for supporting the bear's metabolism over long periods of fasting when crossing huge distances in search of food. Does this affect their fighting performance? Yes, it can offer excellent protection, particularly of vital organs. It also slows them down, having to shift extra mass around. Does it make them invulnerable to the Siberian tiger? No, there is a maximum thickness that their head and neck blubber can be. And yes, polar bear fat is named blubber. The Siberian tiger will target the throat, head and neck. The rest of the bear's fat reserves will have the benefit of making the creature heavy. This is useful for wrestling other animals and applying that weight onto a target. If the polar bear can wrestle and pin the tiger down, all of that weight will act in the bear's favor. Stomping on the animal's body with all of that weight can cause massive internal damage. However, there are drawbacks to this huge mass of fat. It is incorrect to think that the polar bear has more stamina in this fight than the Siberian tiger. It has incredible stamina for swimming and crossing large distances, but the fat will mainly act as a downside for high tempo and intense fighting encounters. The phenomenal heat insulation that it provides, which is crucial for surviving and hunting in Arctic conditions, will quickly prevent the bear from expelling the excess heat generated in the fight. In short, the polar bear will begin to overheat early in this fight. Either the bear must end the fight quickly in a matter of seconds, or the polar bear must be able to resist the tiger's attacks without using much energy and draw out the conflict. Male polar bears often fight for mates. These encounters can leave the polar bears exhausted and in a critical condition. With both bears suffering the same from this, the fight rhythm naturally slows. The Siberian tiger will not overheat as quickly as the bear, so the tempo of the fight is not in the bear's favor. How do polar bears normally hunt? Polar bears are by far and away most specialized at seal hunting. However, with a success rate estimated at just 2%, the seals commonly evade capture. How do they catch them? The bear will commonly wait at a breathing hole in the ice that the seal uses. Using almost no energy, the polar bear picks its moment. When that moment arrives, it isn't ferocity or fighting ability that gives it an edge. It is the ability to quickly attack, grip and hold what is a very slippery and heavy marine mammal that can be considered as starved of oxygen in that moment. The bear's strength and claw and teeth sharpness are superb at penetrating the seal's skin and blubber and gripping it. The bear's strength is sufficient to haul the seal from the water. Once on land, there is no escape from the bear. The polar bear can also do this with small beluga whales and narwhals, although these are rarer instances. It is fair to say that these blubber-thick marine mammals pose little threat to the polar bear. The trick is being able to catch them at the right moment. Seals resting on ice are also a potential target for polar bears, although these require far more stealth and energy consumption and result in failure far more often. Young walruses can also fall prey to polar bears, but they are a far more dangerous target, and the polar bear would need to be in critical state of starvation to risk its life in this endeavor. Polar bears supplement a lot of their diet feasting on washed-up and dead fatty animals, such as blubbery whale carcasses. This provides an abundant supply of calories. A carnivore can only survive these conditions by being opportunistic for any potential meal that arises. A polar bear will actively hunt a human being. However, these are often scared away by the throwing of rocks or the starting of a snowmobile engine. Do polar bears have ferocious attack paws? Polar bears do indeed have large paws. Again, these are an example of the polar bear's highly specialized adaptations. Large paws spread out the large mass over a greater surface area, reducing the pressure on snow and ice and allowing them to use less energy when walking. Polar bears are also fantastic swimmers. The larger paw size helps them propel their mass through the Arctic waters. Soft pads and fairly sharp claws on their paws also help with gripping the slippery ice and captured prey. Now let's see how the polar bear fares when up against a Siberian tiger. In this battle, the polar bear will have 50% more weight than the Siberian tiger. The polar bear may do significant damage to the tiger if it can stomp on the body, using all that weight to try and break the rib cage and crush organs. If the polar bear is able to bite the tiger, then it can use its body strength to rip away at the tiger's fur and flesh, almost guaranteed to remove a chunk from the tiger's body. But can the polar bear actually do this in the fight? When the fight begins, the polar bear and tiger both raise to their hind legs. The tiger boxes with its paws, exposing them razor-sharp retractable claws. Each swipe is fully capable of tearing a man clean open. Swipes on the polar bear's face damage the extremely sensitive nose and eyes. The polar bear tries to grip the tiger and bite the head and neck. The tiger is fast and extremely difficult to get a hold of. With aggressive lunges for the polar bear's throat and neck, the polar bear is forced to expend a lot of energy in shaking the tiger free. This isn't something that the bear is used to. With no natural predators, suddenly being confronted with the largest cat on the planet is a very difficult challenge. The polar bear's lunges to bite the tiger are mostly unsuccessful. The polar bear's claws do no damage. They aren't used for swiping. They are used to try and hold the tiger in place. The polar bear's large size is a challenge for the tiger. Often, the tiger would apply a crushing throat hold and drag the prey down with its huge body weight. The polar bear is proving to be very strong and isn't going down to the floor. But fighting the tiger's weight is a very energy-consuming feat for the bear. Tigers aren't a stranger to taking down heavy and large prey. The Bengal tiger can take down an adult male gaur, for example, a creature weighing over 2,000 pounds. Tigers also take on prey that quite often fights back, whilst avoiding injury. Whether it be bears, elk, or wild boar, the tigers are fast and highly agile. Polar bears get very badly injured in male-on-male encounters. They don't have the speed or agility to evade each other's attacks. Almost all of the tiger's attacks are causing injury, but the polar bear's thick skin and fat layer make the bear a robust defender. What the polar bear lacks in agility against the tiger, it makes up for in ruggedness. An unarmed human being would have zero chance of defeating either of these creatures in a fight to the death. As the minutes go by, the tiger tires, but it is the bear that is becoming exhausted. Its thick layers of protection are making it overheat. The very adaptations that make it such a successful survivor aren't transferable to this vicious battle with the largest of cats. Where the bear is a scavenger and marine mammal stalk and killer, the tiger is a large mammal killing specialist. Every time the tiger gets a throttle hold on the bear, them 4-inch canines sink deep through the skin and blubber layers, penetrating the underlying tissues of the bear's neck. This also fully controls the bear's main weapon, the strong bite and sharp teeth. Eventually, the bear is unable to fend off the Siberian tiger and begins to succumb to heat exhaustion, facial damage and eyesight being compromised. It would take just a single well-placed slash of the tiger's paws to cripple the bear's vision in an eye. This battle is a close match. In 100 fights, the Siberian tiger wins 60 and the polar bear wins 40. The Siberian tiger is the worst type of opponent for the bear, being so agile, strong, ferocious, and capable of dealing immense damage on the bear. As time goes by, the Siberian tiger's damage, coupled with heat exhaustion, will defeat the bear a little more often than the polar bear can deliver fatal damage to the tiger. If both animals were matched for weight, the Siberian tiger would win 80 times in 100. It is the weight of the polar bear that is its best defense here. As the mass of the polar bear increases, it eventually will defeat the Siberian tiger on more occasions. At twice the weight, which is entirely possible with the largest size of polar bears, the polar bear would win 80 times in 100 fights. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.